What's up, everyone? We just got some really interesting news about the big add-on removal that's going to be happening in World of Warcraft. So specifically, which add-ons are likely going to be removed. So we've got this post here to go through in a second, which shows some of the biggest add-ons that are likely going to be gone when this happens. So if you didn't already know, Blizzard are planning to remove any add-ons that significantly impact combat and give like unfair advantages or give, that feel like they're required for, dungeons, raids, that kind of thing. So damage meters, deadly boss mods, things that are like, move here, jump, don't stand in this. Anything that like warns you or gives you a edge over other people, specifically things like weak auras. You might go into a raid and everyone says, everyone use this weak aura and it will tell you where to stand. All that sort of stuff they want to get rid of. So this is the main thing here. Let me just make this bigger. Okay, so this is the main issue here. So if we look at this, this is a post talking about the add-on removal when it was first discussed. And it was that starting from 11.1.7, which is the next patch, which I believe comes out in like a week or two. So that's when they're first going to start adding their own functionality for certain add-ons that exist. So we've got the cooldowns, in-game cooldown trackers. We've got they're planning to do an add-on that will remove like Heliky, whatever it's called, that tells you what to press. They're adding their own version of that to help players learn their rotation. And basically what they want to do is eliminate mods that make computational decisions about how players should interact with different encounters. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Okay, so now let's go into the exact add-ons that are likely going to be gone. Also, if you do find this useful, do consider subscribing. I've made this purely to talk about WoW news and guides and all that kind of thing. So if you want to see more, subscribing helps me out a ton. We are at very early days of this channel. So this is a post by this guy here. And this person is an analyst for Method and a dev at Waggle.io. So this is about as legit as it can get. So if we look at this, they are saying, I'm not sure if people realize how massive of a change the upcoming add-on/API restriction is going to be. Out of the top 15 most downloaded add-ons, 10 are going to be completely dead or heavily affected. Biggest change to the game ever. So I do just want to preface this by saying, if you're not aware, their plan is to cover it with their own in-game version. So, damage meters go in, but they are going to make it so that you don't need a damage meter. Whether that means they're going to add their own damage meter, whether they're going to add their own tracking thing, it remains to be known, but let's go into this. So, and this is like 10 of the biggest ones being removed. And as you can see, a lot of these are, I don't know how clear this is, but basically I'll read out the ones that are in red, but there's a lot of things popping up at the same time. So you've got deadly boss mods here, DBM, and then you've got down here, you've got DBM dungeons, you've got DBM Season of Discovery, then you've got DBM PvP mods. This is probably the worst one I can think of when it comes to, required. If you're learning a fight and you're going in blind, this can pretty much save you sometimes. It tells you when to move out of something, when to turn your back. If there's like a cast we have to turn away, it will tell you to turn away. It will tell you to hide behind cover. It does a lot. So this is one where people might feel they need it to compete with everyone else, to have the same reactions. And the main problem is Blizzard are then designing their fights around this knowledge. Everyone's using this. Blizzard need to get a bit more creative to make it a bit more, challenging. And then if you don't have the add-ons and you don't want to use add-ons, you're in a pretty bad spot. So all those things are going. Then we've got like big wigs and little wigs, which is similar in that it kind of gives you a little bit more information in fights. We have plate and nameplates, which is, it's kind of surprising because it is just a nameplate add-on. It just changes the boss nameplate. However, what it can do is you can set it up to track certain mobs. So you can go into a fight and you can have, what mobs by like what their plate looks like, of if that's a mob that you always need to interrupt. You can track like the things around it and the debuffs and things like that. So, it's a small helper. Then we've got Hekily. That's the priority helper. That's the thing where you literally have a box on screen that tells you your rotation. It literally tells you what to press. And they're making their own, which is coming in a couple of weeks to do that for us. Down here, we've got weak auras. Weak auras is kind of like a add-on box. It's like a thing where everyone can make their own thing. It's like a template to kind of fill what you want. I think that's a shame because there is a lot of really good stuff that can be done with weak auras. For example, if you're in professions or if a new piece of content comes out and like, think about like when you go into Corthia and you have to collect 5 eggs a day and 2 eggs a day and like 5 nests a day, things like that, whatever it was, you could have a weak aura that would track that for you. So it's strange that that's going as a whole, but there is combat elements to that. Method raid tools, GTFO that tells you to move is going, threat plates, again, Voodoo, Healbot, which is wild. Healbot is I've used Healbot for healing since I was first healing in Burning Crusade. So yeah, I've always used Healbot. It's literally a template where you can set all the player names, and you can assign like left click to a heal, right click to a heal over time, middle mouse to a, remove curse, that kind of thing. And you can just like have like click to heal. And that's going to be going as well, according to this analyst. So very, very interesting. I think it's a good thing as a whole. I think it's a good thing that, we're not going to be so reliant on add-ons, but it's on Blizzard to make the game good. It's on Blizzard to take all this out and still leave us with a really good competitive game, which, yeah, there's a lot of things here I don't want to see go. So I really hope Blizzard just make their own. I'm happy to lose detailed damage meter if Blizzard make an in-game one that everyone has on a fair setting. Remove Healbot, but add in a click to heal system that's as good as Healbot, things like that. But yeah, really want to know what you guys think here, because this is a really big change that is probably going to come sooner than we think. So yeah, let me know what you think. Good, bad, any that you think should have been saved here, or that you think maybe they were a little too harsh on. But yeah, that's kind of everything. Thank you for watching. If you do find this useful, if you want to see more, do consider subscribing. It would mean a lot. Thank you so much. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.